This is WOC-TV, Channel 6, Davenport, Iowa.
Now, Don Ryan, Alan Byrne, Tom Corrin, Sports, and John Collins, the weatherman. This is NewsCenter 6.
As you probably have already noticed, we're in new surroundings, and there are a number of other changes as well. Beginning tonight, we come to you from NewsCenter 6. It's a new concept of news for the Quad Cities. You'll be getting a first-hand look at the news from the reporters who cover the stories, since this is our news center. We'd also like to introduce you to some new faces. You'll be seeing a lot of Eugenia D'Ambrosio and Alan Byrne. Alan, who is a seasoned reporter, most recently from Missouri, will be next to me at 6 from NewsCenter 6. And Eugenia, who comes to us from Savannah, Georgia, will join the NewsCenter team at 10 o'clock. We know you'll make them both feel very welcome in the Quad Cities. But our main job is still presenting the news. A Dubuque man pleaded innocent today to first-degree murder. 19-year-old Leonard Gregory was arraigned in Jackson County District Court in Maquoketa. Leonard is charged in the shooting death 10 days ago of 34-year-old Philip Clary of rural Zwingle. Clary claimed he was offered $500 and a car to kill Clary. His trial starts the first part of April.
Well, Don, if you live in Rock Island and had a television or a stereo stolen in a burglary, well, the police may have found it. Police discovered hundreds of items Friday night after raiding the Mop City Record Shop on 7th Avenue. Today, people showed up at the police station in hopes of finding those stolen stereos, televisions, and radios, even some clothing. Early reports indicated that some jewelry had also been found, but police now say that that was not the case. If you believe that some of that property might be yours, you're encouraged to call the police at 793-3423 and make an appointment to see that merchandise. By the way, the owner of the record shop and his wife have both been charged with conspiracy to commit theft. Well, 2 Davenport gasoline stations were the victims of armed robberies last night. One bandit used a knife to hold up the Hudson service station on East River Drive. In the 1800 block of Brady, a man armed with a sawed-off shotgun robbed the Erickson station. We don't know how much, but the money was taken in both stick-ups.
Students at Rock Island High School's Vocational Improvement Program have been running a thrift shop in downtown Rock Island for some time. If the Board of Education gives its approval, they'll soon be remodeling a house to get work experience and to earn money for college. Art Swanson reports.
Students in the Vocational Improvement Program may be working on this home by the spring. It's located at 1213 7th Avenue. VIP Director Eddie Klein wants to buy the home with the funds made from running the thrift shop. Then students would remodel it and sell it for a profit. All money would come from and be returned to the VIP account. Klein hopes the Board of Education approves the proposal at tomorrow night's meeting.
Trying to get the students to put a hands-on operation. In other words, we're going to buy this house and have the students fix it up and show them how to do it.
The home's asking price is $5,000. Klein figures it'll take another $5,000 to remodel, and he hopes to sell it for about $13,000. Now, what do the students think about this?
And I'm going to college next year for real estate, so this is kind of, you know, in the field in which I'm going to be dealing with in the future.
I was thinking on getting into roofing, possibly. And, well, the money we're going to receive from this most likely will go into reinvestments and possibly another house.
Students would earn money for their work either through CETA or the Vocational Improvement Program.
So if all goes well, the Board of Education tomorrow night will give its approval. Then the VIP program will buy this house, remodel it, and in about 2 years sell it for a profit. Art Swanson, NewsCenter 6, Rock Island.
Klein thinks it'll take about 2 years to remodel the house since he's in no hurry to finish the project. And, of course, in 2 more years, even more students can take part.
And coming up, new Quad Cityans take the oath.
And bluegrass has growing pains.
Those stories are next from NewsCenter 6. Well, for most of us, it was just an average Monday. But for about 60 people, it was a special day, the day they became Americans. Sherry Hood has the story.
Davenport's U.S. District Court chambers were filled with people from all over the world. While their families looked on, more than 60 immigrants officially became American citizens. U.S. District Court Judge Harold Viator presided over the naturalization ceremony, which is held here for all immigrants who live in southeastern Iowa. We hear a lot about the many problems facing our country here and abroad. From the looks of things, America's still a pretty popular place to live.
You can still do a lot more here than elsewhere, a lot more on your own initiative that you can't do it anywhere else.
People are very nice, very friendly, and I love to be here. Sometimes I feel ashamed to say that I am Iranian, but from now on, I'm not going to say anything about that.
Sherry Hood, NewsCenter 6, Davenport.
There were at least another 40 immigrants who went through the similar citizenship ceremonies in Rock Island this afternoon.
You know, Alan, new citizens are part of the reason that this country keeps growing. Although big cities have traditionally shown the biggest increases in population, small town life still is attractive to many. The latest census shows the town of Bluegrass has grown by 33% since 1970. Joan Brandenburg reports the growing community has outgrown its city hall.
The population in the city of Bluegrass stands at 1,379. While that's no metropolis, visitors are often amazed at how tiny City Hall is. Plans to remodel or build a new facility have been in the works for years. Now the federal government has stepped in. All government buildings must be accessible to the handicapped. This City Hall is not.
Every other Monday night, City Council members meet here. If there is anything of public interest that is discussed, the whole meeting has to be moved over to the American Legion Hall, because this room also serves as the county library.
Police Chief Terry McDonald has his office here too. It used to be a supply closet. There are no restrooms in the building, and the electrical system, according to McDonald, is almost a fire hazard. Plans for a new City Hall will be presented at a public hearing tonight. Town fathers are hopeful residents will see the need for a change. Joan Brandenburg, NewsCenter 6, Bluegrass.
Scott County Board of Supervisors tomorrow will consider an ordinance to force people to pay overdue parking tickets. Deputy Treasurer Hank Farber says the new state law allows treasurers in counties with less than 250,000 population to refuse to sell plates to anybody with outstanding tickets. Farber says the Board of Supervisors must adopt a local law under home rule before the treasurer can withhold the license plates. Under the plan, a treasurer's office worker would make a computer check for overdue parking tickets when a person comes in to buy new license plates or to renew them. Well, you'll find when you've been here a while, Alan, that Collins fouls up all the weekends. But now that it's the first part of the week, I guess we'll probably...
Now that we have to work. That's right. This is almost like summertime, though, the last couple of days we've had.
It seems like it, and it won't really change greatly. The high today, a little above normal, surprisingly enough, 33 degrees. 0 was our morning low. Conditions right now here at NewsCenter 6 and at the Quad City Airport, 32 degrees. The barometer falling, 61% the humidity, and a west-southwest wind at about 10 miles an hour. Around the two-state area, not much is happening. Partly cloudy conditions for the most part. Temperatures warmer to the west and a little cooler to the east. You can see the 22 at Chicago. They've got some snow shower activity. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. It's 36 degrees at St. Louis and also Burlington, warming to 40 at Des Moines and 45 degrees out at Omaha, Nebraska. Now we'll look at something brand new for NewsCenter 6. We're calling it Skywatch 6 Radar. And the picture we're looking at right now is the Chicagoland radar at Marseilles, Illinois. It's showing a picture a little earlier this afternoon. As you can see, no precipitation for the most part in the Midwest area. But I'll take a closer shot of the Chicagoland area where I mentioned that snow shower activity, and you can see some very light snow activity along the lakefront and inland. This is around Midway Airport. And that activity is a little earlier this morning, or this afternoon. It's still there now, but not quite as heavy as we indicate in the picture right now. Let's switch over to Skywatch 6 satellite and look at the overnight progress of satellite activity. And as soon as we get done with the roll there, we can see some cool air moving to the east. That gray area kind of slides to the east in this picture, allowing some of the warmer air from the Pacific Northwest to come in and make things generally milder in this part of the country. And here's our map this evening showing positions. Here's that warm front slowly edging that mild air to the east. The snow shower activity in the Great Lakes, also off the coast of North Carolina. Some record cold temperatures, 18 of them set in the southeastern part of the country. Tampa this evening is still only 42 degrees, unusually cold for them. It's 55 at Rapid City at 5 o'clock, but only 20 at Indianapolis. So you can see the influence of that milder air coming into this part of the country. On the forecast tonight, I'm saying for the Quad Cities, partly cloudy skies, milder temperatures than we have been experiencing, a low tonight around 18 degrees. And during the day tomorrow, we'll continue with partly cloudy skies early in the day, an increase in cloudiness late in the day, and overnight tomorrow night, some snow flurries developing or light snow. Tomorrow's high around 37 degrees. As we look at the extended outlook for the Quad Cities, for Wednesday, partly sunny conditions, in fact, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, partly cloudy conditions for the most part. 29 degrees, the highs on Wednesday and Thursday, up to the freezing point on Friday, and a little warmer than freezing, about 34 degrees on Saturday. So really this milder air, these warmer temperatures, or as we could say, this heat wave, is going to hang around for a little while, and that's some pretty good weather news. No major systems coming in or anything.
Actually, that's what we were ordering.
Looks like by weekend, that might be even Bermuda shorts time.
I think you're overly optimistic.
These days, almost everybody is concerned about watching their budget, and that includes governments, too, making sure that the money is spent on worthwhile projects. Well, Davenport City officials recently spent a little more than $11,000 on the greening of City Hall. Patty Van Hecke checked into the reasons for that expense and has this report.
For $11,255, Davenport City Hall now has plants spread throughout the building, and employees of a local garden center are coming in at least once a week to water and feed the greenery.
The 11,000 tax dollars are paying for 63 plants and pots like this one, a guarantee to replace any plant that dies, and a maintenance agreement. It says Kimberly Barn employees will take care of the plants for a year and at the same time teach city employees how to water and feed them.
The city says spending $11,000 on 63 plants and their care is okay.
The whole idea was that City Hall would be done once and won't be done again for probably 30 to 40 more years. And we wanted to do it in a manner that it would be done properly and be a good office building without having it being a Cadillac. But we felt that we should do it properly, spend the money, do it right, and not come back piecemeal and keep picking away at it.
The $11,000 plants are one of the recommendations of Design Collectives, the Ohio firm supervising the $2.6 million City Hall remodeling job. Patty Van Hecke, News Center 6, Davenport.
The Ohio firm that did the decorating, by the way, recommended buying the plants to add visual interest, texture, and character to the building.
And when News Center 6 continues, Eugenia D'Ambrosio has a gem of a story.
And Tom Corrin will be up with tonight's sports.
Say, are you looking for an investment that'll show a high return? Well, Eugenia D'Ambrosio spent this afternoon with some of her very best friends.
No investment portfolio would be complete without diamonds. That's what one Davenport jeweler feels. Diamonds, as a long-term investment, can yield a sizable profit. In some cases, double the value. But the key word here is long-term. Expect to buy your diamond and hold on to it for at least 5 years before you see a profit. So what would a jeweler invest in for an immediate return?
I would suggest on a short-time investment, these 6-month certificates, which right at present are guareteeing you 13 to 14% return.
Bob Siegel agrees, but is not as cautious. He feels in a period of high inflation and fluctuations in the market, diamonds are an island of stability. They only appreciate in value. And Siegel had a customer who learned that almost overnight.
I have a customer who bought a diamond from me in January, which doubled its value. It was about $13,000 then and doubled to $27,000 in 6 months. Okay, but that, you know, it so happened that the market was tremendously strong during that period of time.
Diamonds may or may not be a good short-term investment, but as far as their resale value is concerned, well, there's no such thing as a second-hand diamond. Eugenia D'Ambrosio, News Center 6, Davenport.
So if you need an immediate, or you don't need an immediate profit and you have the sizable capital to invest, well, perhaps diamonds are where it's at. And a couple of guys in town who would like to wear a diamond, World Series style.
That's true.
That's
Bruce
right.
Kennedy you were talking about, this is not the fellow that ran for president.
No, but I'll tell you, if things don't go right for him this year, he might as well run for president anyway. For the Chicago Cubs, it wasn't so much the lack of talent last year, it was more like the lack of attitude. Now, from one of the Cubs organizations, nobody denied that at all today. The fact is, General Manager Bob Kennedy was the first to bring it up. And he was also the first to say he will not have any more negative waves, so to speak, from his players.
To understand, if you watch some of the ball games that I watched, I wish I had some of the players to sit up there where I was and watch how they played. I think they'd feel a little bit different about it too. I was very disappointed in the way they played, and it's not going to happen again. Not while I'm there.
Still yet to be decided is what will become of Dave Kingman. Kennedy has already gone public and said he will trade him, but it's almost become apparent he's changed his mind.
Everybody here would do that. We'd sure like to have him stay with us, you know. Of course, he's got 2 years to go on his contract. Let's put it that way. The only thing we're concerned about is he's fully recovered from the injury, and we think he is. He's gone to a couple of doctors, and of course, there was an article in the paper where he saw the Met doctor, who happened to be a personal friend of his, and he saw him originally during the season. He requested that he could go see him, in which we said that was fine, and he also saw Dr. Curlin and Dr. Jobe on the coast. And they all pretty much said the same thing that our doctor said, and there was nothing organically wrong with the arm or the shoulder, and it just took a little time for it to heal, and he feels it's all right at this time too. Apparently, most ball players want to play. You got a few that say they want to play, but they'd rather sit around. But in most cases, most ball players want to play. They want to walk out there and try to do a job because I think they have a little pride in what they want to do. And I think that the ball club right now, I think, is better than it was last year.
Cubs general manager Bob Kennedy. And if this is going to be Gaylord Perry's last year in the majors, he's going to go out in style, $300,000 richer. That is what the Atlanta Braves gave him in the form of a one-year contract today. Perry admitted that if the Braves hadn't picked him up, he probably would have retired. Davenport Assumption is still UPI's #1 choice on this week's 3A UPI Iowa basketball poll.
Well, that about brings us to the end from News Center 6 for this time around, but we will be back tonight at 10, Eugenia D'Ambrosio and I, and we'll have Tom Corrin's further adventures with the Chicago Cubs and some other interesting highlights for you, too. Thank you and good evening.
Hello, I'm Bob Danico, and this is Comment. The Iowa General Assembly is back in business for